Listen in the right places in the US and you will hear "build a wall" ringing out over the bustle of excitable rallies. For centuries, nations have built walls to keep people out, from ancient China to modern borders around the world. But here's the question: do walls really work? Take the Great Wall of China, a massive structure built to stop invaders dead in their tracks. Yet, despite its sheer size and strength, it couldn't keep people from crossing. Today, nations are still building walls in an attempt to control borders and restrict migration. But what if history is telling us something different? What if walls, no matter how high or long, are more symbolic than they are effective? Let's take a look at the story of the Great Wall and explore why barriers may not be the solution to migration that we think they are. The concept of the Great Wall didn't appear overnight. Its origins trace back to the 7th century BC, when individual states in China built defensive walls to protect themselves from raids by nomadic tribes in the north. These early walls were smaller, designed to shield territories rather than span the entire northern frontier. But by the 3rd century BC, China's first emperor, the great Qin Shi Huang, envisioned something greater. Qin Shi Huang unified these fragmented walls into one continuous defense, stretching across thousands of kilometers. His goal was clear: to create an impenetrable boundary that would prevent the Xiongnu and other nomadic tribes from entering China. Yet, even as the wall expanded, it faced enormous challenges, from the vastness of the landscape to inconsistent construction. The construction of the Great Wall was a monumental feat, but it came at an immense human cost. Hundreds of thousands of workers, including soldiers, peasants, and prisoners, toiled under extreme conditions. They faced severe weather, difficult terrain, and exhausting hours. Tragically, many of these laborers never made it home. Historians estimate that up to 1 million people may have perished during construction, leading to the wall's grim nickname, the Long Graveyard. This immense human sacrifice was driven by the ambition to secure borders. Yet did the wall achieve what it set out to? In Qin Shi Huang's time, around 221 BC, China's population was estimated to be about 20 million. But despite the wall's construction, the population continued to grow, influenced by the influx of new ideas, people, and cultures. The wall may have slowed certain groups, but it could not completely stop the movement of people and armies. The wall was breached several times, and the breaches were not minor incursions, but major defeats that, in one case at least, led to the fall of the Chinese Empire. The most famous of these defeats was perhaps by Genghis Khan and his hordes, overthrowing the Jin dynasty in 1234 AD and founding of the Mongol Yuan dynasty. Having said this, it is clear that the wall repelled many attackers in its original form and its more modern Ming dynasty construction. Even the Great Khan required 5 years of preparation and extensive strategizing to breach it. The Great Wall was clearly a great military structure, and the weaknesses that led to the fall of the Jin Empire are more closely related to the army and politicians than to the structure itself. Indeed, the leaders of the empire had long failed to maintain the wall, leaving it weak in places. Meanwhile, the Chinese army took it for granted that an invading force could not succeed south of the structure, to the degree that a faked retreat by the Mongol army led to a large portion of the army leaving their fortresses and being captured by Mongols. There are also widespread theories that the wall was used for immigration and immigration control and the imposition of fees on trade goods. Whether it succeeded here is a much more controversial question. It is a lot easier to get a family across a wall than an army, especially one so long and hard to surveil as the Great Wall. While some may have been discouraged, it is clear that the wall, which was in fact a series of walls with towers, forts, and gaps in between, was often just circumnavigated or walked around. The genetic makeup of populations to the north and south of the wall is very mixed, which suggests high migration. Today, China's population has grown exponentially to over 1.4 billion. Migration and cultural exchange have played essential roles in this growth, even with the wall standing in place. This vast population increase and the movement in the north suggests that while walls may delay movement, they cannot ultimately prevent it. Another example of a wall that ultimately failed to stop movement is the Berlin Wall. Built in 1961 by the German Democratic Republic, or East Germany, this wall was designed to prevent East Germans from fleeing to the more prosperous West Berlin. It stretched over 140 kilometers and stood as a powerful symbol of the Cold War divide. The Berlin Wall was fortified with guards, barbed wire, and watchtowers, yet people were still determined to cross. Over the years, thousands risked their lives, using creative methods such as digging tunnels, jumping from buildings, or even constructing makeshift hot air balloons to escape. Despite the intense security, an estimated 5,000 people managed to cross the wall until it finally fell in 1989. The Berlin Wall teaches us that even a wall equipped with the latest security measures couldn't completely stop the movement of people driven by the hope for freedom and opportunity. Just like the Great Wall, it stood for decades as a powerful barrier, but was ultimately overcome by the persistence of those who sought a better life. Otherwise, migrants simply walked around the wall and ran the gauntlet of the border forces. Fast forward to today, and we see a similar approach with the partially complete US-Mexico border wall, designed to control immigration and create a clear line of security. But has it truly succeeded? Despite billions invested in building miles of fencing, the wall consists more in concept than in construction. Meanwhile, migrants continue to find ways over, under, and around this wall, motivated by the hope for a better life. In 2022 alone, U.S. Customs and Border Protection encountered over 2.2 million migrants at the border. This shows that, just as with the Great Wall, physical barriers can delay but not prevent migration. Immigration has long brought both benefits and challenges. In the United States, immigrants make up 13.7% of the total population, around 44.9 million people. Many work in essential sectors, such as agriculture, construction, and healthcare. Studies show that immigrants or their children founded 45% of the Fortune 500 companies, creating millions of jobs for Americans. Immigration enriches societies, bringing cultural diversity through new ideas, art, cuisine, and traditions, and promoting a broader cultural exchange. However, immigration can also bring challenges. Rapid population growth can strain public services, create job competition, and sometimes lead to social tensions, especially in areas with limited resources. In the U.S., concerns over illegal entry and border security have added to these debates. Yet, research indicates that immigrants contribute significantly to the economy, paying over $458 billion in taxes annually. These funds help support essential services, highlighting that the role of immigrants in society extends well beyond the concerns of illegal entry. Both the Great Wall of China and the US-Mexico border wall teach us a critical lesson. Walls alone do not stop migration, and perhaps it's best that they don't. People driven by survival, hope, or opportunity adapt to barriers, overcome, and become stronger for it. So, what do you think? Are walls effective at stopping migration, or do they serve more as symbols of control? Share your thoughts in the comments below. And if you're enjoying this exploration, be sure to subscribe for more insights on history, geopolitics, and migration. Over time, the Great Wall became more than just a barrier. It evolved into a place of cultural exchange. Merchants from distant lands traveled along routes that passed near or along the wall, bringing goods, philosophies, and technologies. A long wall is a useful navigation tool, and it helped many people to find their way into and out of China safely. This travel and interaction wasn't purely transactional, it was deeply transformational. Chinese society absorbed influences from abroad, while travelers carried aspects of Chinese culture back to their own lands. Ironically, a wall intended to divide became a bridge for ideas, religions, and traditions. Today, the Great Wall remains a powerful symbol of human ambition and the desire for control. But it also stands as a reminder of the limitations of walls and barriers, as well as the strength and benefits of cross-border exchange, the latter somewhat ironically. When people are driven by necessity, by hope, or by sheer will, no wall can hold them back indefinitely. Visitors from every corner of the globe now come to the Great Wall, marveling at its grandeur and contemplating its purpose. Borders may shift, walls may rise and fall, but human connection, movement, and cultural exchange endure. The Great Wall of China is an engineering marvel and a testament to human endurance, but it's also a reminder that while walls create barriers, they don't end migration. People have always moved, and they always will. So, the next time we hear about building a wall to stop migration, let's remember the lessons of the Great Wall of China. Migration isn't a problem to be solved with a wall. It's a natural part of human existence. Rather than building barriers, perhaps we should focus on fostering understanding and cooperation in a world meant to be shared. Thank you for joining us on this journey through history and migration. The story of the Great Wall reminds us that humanity's drive to move, connect, and grow can't be held back by walls. If you found this exploration thought-provoking, please pull down the walls separating you from us by hitting subscribe. Give this video a like, share your thoughts in the comments below, and say hi. Let's keep the conversation going, because understanding our past can help us build a future that's open, inclusive, and shared by all.